different. But Lopan, was that too fast?
Indeed.
Yeah, that was too fast, Lopan. I mean, he less than 24 hours. This brother he was going. We know where he was going. He had two teams that he was looking at, but there was one team that he was going to, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think Jerry Jones, with this whole thing, how Jerry, dangled him out there, and he dangled him, the entire year. Instead of just saying, look, Dak is going to be our guy. Until he mess up, until he do something different, Dak is our guy. Dak never messed up. So you got to give him Dak the Tom Brady treatment. Tom Brady came in, stepped in, and what they did, they said, well, Tom Brady really hadn't messed up, so he's our guy. Difference is Tom Brady took him to the Super Bowl. Dak didn't, but they had a tremendous season. They went 14-2. So you just got to think that maybe Tony was just like, I'm tired of this whole football thing. I'm just going to step away. But I think he will be back in a year. He'll see that broadcasting thing is probably not what he really wants to do, and then just move on and find a team. Now, the team that we really thought, or I thought he really were going to go to, he had two choices. He had Denver and he had Houston. Let's be real. He wasn't going to Cleveland. He wasn't going to the Jets. So there's no reason to even talk about them. All right. So Denver was a Peyton Manning, type of situation, but he's not Peyton Manning. So they didn't want him like that. Denver was willing to roll with Trevor Siemian or Paxton Lynch. If they could get Romo for the right price, then that would be great. Let's all be factual here. Denver is still dependent on their defense. So it only made sense for him to go to Houston. He retires. Houston has already traded away Brock Osweiler. And your quarterback that's left on your roster is Tom Savage. What? I've asked this before and I'll ask it again. What are the Texans doing? What are they doing? Everyone knows the story. You got a championship team, as everyone say. You got this defense. You just need the quarterback. You send Brock off, and now you with Tom Savage, who has played a total of 5 games, maybe. Now where the Texans are, they're in the corner. They're in the corner, and Jimmy Garoppolo and the New England Patriots, have just stepped into the driver's seat. Garoppolo, hey, this is ideal. He would be going, if they trade Garoppolo, he's going to a Patriots guy, and O'Brien that was there. So he knows the system. But you best believe the Patriots ain't just going to let Garoppolo go for the free ski. That's all I'm saying. So shouts out to other people in the room. Cedric is in the building. My man said, what's going on? And the biggest Patriots fan that is a troller in the building, my man Grego. What's up, Grego? So, but this year, O'Brien, everyone is saying, is O'Brien on a hot seat? This year is the year. He is on the hot seat. Unless you're getting to the AFC Conference Championship game, that's it. You've had so many chances. You've had so many opportunities as far as players. They played very well without J.J. Watt. I was surprised by that on the defense. You got an offense. D-Hop, Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins. You got Will Fuller. You got Lamar Miller. I'm sorry the tight end right now, his name slipped my mind, but he's stepping up. It's only so much time before they'd say, all right, the players or the coach, and probably management too. Even though Brock maybe didn't play out like they thought, I think you would probably still stick with him before Tom Savage. So we shall see, in here. But I want to send shouts out to, and again, you're listening to the Wait a Minute show on the WSME network. So shouts out to Doug again for giving me this opportunity. So I want to send some love to people jumping into the building as well. JB Jennings, what's up, JB? And Grego, he over here just changing avatars, left and right. So you got to keep an eye on him. Because he almost got me. I was going to say, who is this in here? But we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the Wait a Minute Show, and I am your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. We're talking about what is the Texans going to do from here on out. What will the Texans do from here on out? Your choices now out there are Cutler, Kaepernick, staying with Tom Savage, taking a chance on a draft pick, or get raked over the coals and trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. And at this point, you gotta trade for Garoppolo. I mean, even if he doesn't pan out, people are going to be happy just because you got Garoppolo. You know, that's it. Chief is saying they need a life. You know, they need more than a life, Chief. You know, they need Oprah or something, you know, to point out a quarterback to them or something. They need something because this marks the third year that your quarterback has been a question mark. The first one was Ryan Mallett and my man Brian Hoyer. Then Brock. Now, at this point, you really don't got a QB. And then they're like, well, we're going to stick behind, you know, Tom. Really? Really? You don't think? Yeah, you're going to stick behind him because you ain't got no other choices. Right, Lopez?
Indeed.
Yeah. So you don't have any choices. You need to get Garoppolo. Just whatever it takes, get Garoppolo, because if it don't work out anyway and Tom Savage sucks, you're fired anyway. So you might as well just go for the gusto and then see what happens, you know, on that. So thanks, Tony Romo. You messed up another franchise in the Houston Texans. I was excited to see what they could do, you know, with Tony, but it's over at this point. So next topic, we're going to stay with the Cowboys, and I'm surprised a lot of people didn't talk about this, but it caught my eye when he was speaking of this. So, owner of the Cowboys, Mr. Jerry Jones, you know, himself. The owners had a meeting, it was owners only, and they wanted to discuss, you know, just some topics, you know, to review and think about and take into consideration, if you will. And two things Jerry Jones brought up, and it's like, I wonder why, Jerry. But the first one was he put in a push, you know, to end the marijuana ban in the NFL. So he basically saying, hey, it's all right to smoke the sticky icky, and if that's what you want to do, then that's good. Now, me myself, I don't drink, I don't smoke, so I don't know what, you know, you get out of it. I can only go by what the people I know get out of it. But I've had this conversation, and people who smoke weed has made very, very, you know, a competitive argument, you know, on why. Now, I think a lot of people think that if the NFL lift the ban on smoking marijuana, that the players are just going to just show up in the locker room smoking. And that's not what's going to happen. Now, players will say, hey, I need it, you know, for, you know, medical reason and all that stuff. That's great. But also, let's just be real. This is something people want as a recreational activity. Just like drinking. To me, it's no different. The only thing that I really haven't seen, you know, I've never seen anyone get pulled over and was asleep at a light because they were smoking marijuana. You know, Michael Floyd had, because he was drinking. Now, drinking would do that, but I've never, you know, really heard of anyone smoking marijuana and getting into a fight. You hear about other people getting drunk, and then all of a sudden they think they Mike Tyson and they want to fight everybody. So what is the big deal with this? It's starting to become legal in other states. I think it's going to catch on. So what is the major deal about this? And it's green. It's green. And I'm not talking about the marijuana. It's money. You still have people who don't like marijuana, and owners don't want to affect their pockets. Now, Jerry, he don't care because we all know some of his players is on it right now, you know, And he trying to get as many of his players healthy. Randy Gregory, who so far still, had trouble. And other players that's been messing, with the sticky icky. But it's just like, it's time to just move on from that. Make it okay. You don't get banned or you don't, because you can't say, I can leave the facility, go drink, get drunk, fight somebody, I still get banned, or I still get in trouble, but you can't do the same thing with which no one gets into fights. No one, that's what I don't get. No, you shouldn't be operating a vehicle like Le'Veon Bell was. You shouldn't be doing anything like that. Yeah, so I agree with that. But that's the same thing with drinking. You shouldn't be operating a vehicle if you're drinking. So I just never seen the big deal, in it as far as like how it's going to be a negative effect, on the NFL, on it. Now, you may have a bunch of, local weed man or whatever showing up and you don't want him around, but hey, that just comes with the territory. Now, the other thing he wanted was the investigation for off the field conduct to end. Now that I don't agree with. You cannot not say, you know what, NFL, you can't conduct an investigation. And the reason is, players, let's just be real with it. Real with it, America. I'm gonna be real with you. We know players, they get the benefit of the doubt. They get benefits, they get privileges that other people don't. Be happy with that. Be happy with that. People are you got these lawyers and everything. They finding loopholes and all this stuff to get you off or whatever and erase anything that you've done. So be happy with that. You shouldn't be out there doing it anyway. So I had to get that off my chest. And the marijuana, I don't do it, but who cares? Let them do it. And off the field, conduct investigations, keep that going. You need that. Last thing you want is somebody that's already getting over to a certain degree, really getting over. So I'm going to leave that alone and I'm going to get off that topic. But I want to send a shout out to some other people that's in the building. My man Sluggo, X-Squad affiliate, is in the building as well. And my man Melvin, who is in the building as well. So shouts out to my man Melvin. Thank you for joining the show. Again, everyone, I am Jelani JB Bodie, host of the Wait a Minute Show, and I am on WSME. And shouts out to Doug again for giving me this opportunity to share my voice with y'all tonight. So, update on the game. Let's see what's going on in the game right now. 57-42, Boston is still down, and we are into, I think, halftime. Yeah, so we're in a halftime. Boston's still down by 15 points. They are in trouble, and we'll get into, pretty much about why they're, in trouble. But I want to bring up another football topic that just happened today, and it's been going on, and I really thought it was over, and I said it on a previous show, like, nah, it's not going to happen, but this thing is starting to catch some steam. So it looks like Marshawn Lynch is going to actually maybe come back. So reports are that he intends to come back, that he talked to the Raiders, said he wanted to be back and play football. So he's taken off a year. Been around the world, ate some Skittles, and all that stuff, and did commercials, made money, and now he's thinking about coming back and playing for the Raiders. So I understand it. You're playing at home, you're going to have the luxury of being comfortable in a setting that you're used to. You're going to be with a team that has an opportunity to make a run in the playoffs, possibly get to the Super Bowl. So I get that. But I just hope what the Raiders are doing is not putting all their focus on Marshawn Lynch, because let's be real, gentlemen and ladies, Marshawn is 30 years old right now. He will be 31 in about 2.5 weeks. Now, previous year before he was in the NFL, he had some injuries. He only played 7 games. He only had 417 yards and 3 TDs. Now, before that, people would be like, well, what about the year before? Yeah, he was balling. Balling before that, 1,306 yards and 17 TDs. But guess what? The one thing that I've noticed or seen about NFL running backs,